I just click on any row up, and you'll notice that I click again on the far left, and while the mouse is in shape of arrow, I'll right click, and it's very important you click on insert copied cells, and it will paste it there. It will pretty much add that row, not replacing things on any row, but it'll add that row there. So you can do that, and just when you come across some fonts that you like in the list, you can copy them and pretty much paste them on top, so that you don't have to go through the list every time you wanted to make a design. You just go to the short list that you have it on top. That's one way to do it as well. Otherwise, if you don't mind, you can go through the whole text. But what I like about this is by just looking at the text, you know how that font is going to look like. But if you are designing and you are typing the font name on top of your design software font area, font window, to try fonts there, it will take you a few minutes to go through them, but you won't even go through all of them. If by miracle you come across one that you really like, you'll just stick to that. So, but by having your library of fonts in front of you, you can go through it, and you have chance to go through all of them to see which one will be a best fit for your product, for the design you are working on. So that's one way to organize your fonts. And if you wanted to print it out, which may not be necessary, but we are all different. If you wanted to have paper prints that you can have in front of you, then you will need to format your spreadsheet. So one way would be, because the text we are using here is quite long, you'll have a lot of papers to work with as well. But maybe what you might do is, you see the one that I'm pasting here, I mean, you can work with that to, like, once you copy and paste some that you really like, you can print them out. But if you want to print the whole things out, then you will need to reformat it. So one way to do that, let me delete those two out of here. And probably the dates may not be important either. So one way you'll do that would be, I'm not sure we will need this at this point. Let's say we are not going to print it out, but you need to select pretty much what you want to print out. So let's say you want to print everything out. You wanted to set the print area. Okay, so I just select those. I mean, there is multiple different way you will do it though, but let's go to, in fact, we might even need to turn it into a landscape format. But if you go on the layout, page layout on top, we can set the print area. So I click on set print area, but then I like to go to print taro, and pretty much print taro. So row to repeat on top. So if you have multiple pages, you want, what row do you want to repeat? So I'm going to click on row to repeat at top, and every page I want those 3 to be repeated. Google font for commercial use, display fonts, font name, notes, and example. So it will automatically put the row the rows number there, and colons to repeat if the colons will be cut, colons to repeat, then it will be, you'll put your mouse on top, and pretty much you wanted to repeat those columns that has the phoneme and that has the text as well. And one thing I like to work on as well is header, but in this case it may not matter since you already have the display name on it. It may not matter. But if you click on customs footer, you can automatically insert file name. It will have where the files came from, where you save it on your computer. Insert file path instead. I think I'll do the file path. Okay, and we don't need file name, just that, but how to get there. You know what, let's click out of that and do it again. And at the right section, if you want, you can put display. Okay, so every single page that has the fonts will have a display font on it if you didn't have it on the page already, and then you can just click OK. But you can do the margin as well if you want it in landscape, which will be more appropriate. You can do that when you click out of it. So if you wanted to print, it will tell you how it's going to print. So one thing, if you wanted to print it out, you will need to do some formatting, because the text is long. So for the text to print, I think I didn't set my print area properly. So let's send the print area again. Okay. When you set print area, it's just going to print those things you set to print out. So print area. Okay. Clear print area. Set print area. Okay. So, and for some reason, I'm seeing like one page is ending here and the other is starting. So one thing you can do if your text is very long, because if you look up here, the text is very long. So you can either have short text, or you can click inside the text. Since I have the rows wide, you press Alt key on your keyboard and you press Enter. So that will cut the text to go to the next line, and I can do that again. So I just click somewhere again. I'll press Alt key. While I'm holding it down, I will press Enter. So that will go to the next row again. So, and yeah, that's one way to do it, so that it's not too wide. The goal will be to have, if your note is not important, you can minimize those. The goal will be to have on one page to have the fonts and the text, and I'm not sure if the fonts are long for the column to be that wide, but you get the idea. You can make the row wider than 55 and keep the text very short in it as well, so that when you print your design, it's just on one page. now like on one page. Now I'm seeing it like if I print it, the fonts and the text will be on one page. So you have to make that form, you have to format the text colon for every single one. But if you have that idea in mind that you are going to print it out, it might be a good idea to do it before you paste the text for every font. That way it's already formatted like this, and then you will print it out. But I'm not going to print it. I just want that to be on my computer so that I can get to it and look at it. But sometimes we want to have things in front of us when we are tired of the computer. But that's how it's going to look, and it is 7 pages. So you'll notice that the one we formatted is all everything fits, but the one that we have now formatted, the text colon, the text rows or cells, the text is cut. So yeah, but you'll notice that you have the font and you have the text on each page, and the top Google fonts and display fonts, they are listed, and the path to get to the where the spreadsheet is located is quite long, that the display font that I have at the bottom was not needed. It should be out or should be on top in the header section, not font section. But yes, it's just giving us what it looks like. And in fact here is kind of softer on the eyes to look at as well. But that's pretty much how you download Google Freeform for commercial use. You install it, you file it, and you organize it on your spreadsheet so that when you are designing, you don't waste time looking for the right fonts that you need or you want to use in your design. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Afiavi-Odjounin, Liberman, creators of Liberman Consulting, LLC, YouTube channel, Liberman Consulting, LLC, podcast, ninassoap.com, our blog. We do have our online stores, including liberlabel.com for custom apparels and stationery, liberdownload.com for digital products, ninassoap.com for natural products, and liberoutlets.com for resale products. Thank you so much, you all that subscribe to our channel. We thank you very much for all your comments. If you have a way to organize your funds, yeah, please feel free to share it as well. Thank you, you all that watch our videos.